Addenda.
Yours truly Meyer Wolfsheim, and then hasty addenda beneath. Let me know about the funeral etc. Do not know his family at all. Addenda is a plural noun that means, things that are added, to a document or text. In this case, it refers to the hasty additions that Meyer Wolfsheim made to the bottom of the note he sent to Gatsby, asking him to let him know about the funeral and expressing his lack of knowledge about Gatsby's family.
Adventitious.
Someone with a positive manner, perhaps a detective, used the expression, madman, as he bent over Wilson's body that afternoon, and the adventitious authority of his voice set the key for the newspaper reports next morning. Meaning of adventitious. Adventitious means, occurring by chance or accident, not inherent or natural. Explanation in the context of the sentence. In this sentence from The Great Gatsby, adventitious authority refers to the authority that was granted to someone with a positive manner, by virtue of their chance encounter with Wilson's body. Despite not having any inherent or official authority, the person's words influenced the newspaper reports because of their untimely and coincidental presence at the scene. Thus, the positive manner and the madman expression became authoritative because of the fortuitous circumstances.
Affectation.
The bored, haughty face that she turned to the world concealed something. Most affectations conceal something eventually, even though they don't in the beginning, and one day I found what it was. Meaning of affectations. In the context of this sentence, affectations refers to deliberate or artificial behaviors or mannerisms that someone adopts to present a certain image or impression. Explanation. The sentence suggests that Daisy Buchanan's bored, haughty face is an affectation. It is something she puts on to hide her true feelings and emotions. At first, affectations can be effective in concealing what lies beneath, but eventually, they tend to reveal themselves. In this case, the narrator discovers what Daisy is hiding behind her affectation. He uncovers the emptiness and sadness that she tries to mask with her aloof demeanor. The sentence implies that Daisy's affectation ultimately fails to hide her true nature. That dog will cost you $10. The Airedale, undoubtedly there was an Airedale concerned in it somewhere, though its feet were startlingly white, changed hands and settled down into Mrs. Wilson's lap, where she fondled the weatherproof coat with rapture. Airedale refers to a breed of dog that originated in the Aire Valley in Yorkshire, England. It is known for its strong, muscular build, distinctive wiry coat, and loyal and protective personality. In the context of the given sentence from The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, it seems that the dog being referred to has some characteristics of an Airedale, particularly its wiry coat. However, the author also notes that its feet are startlingly white, which is not a typical feature of Airedales. Therefore, it is possible that the dog is a mixed breed or has some other unusual traits.
Ajar.
The windows were ajar and gleaming white against the fresh grass outside that seemed to grow a little way into the house. Meaning of ajar. Ajar means slightly open or partially open. Explanation in the context of the sentence. The windows in the house were slightly open, allowing a small gap between the frame and the windowpane. This gap was enough to let in some light and air, but not enough to fully open the window. Visual description. The sentence describes the windows as gleaming white against the fresh grass outside. This image suggests that the windows are open enough to let in the light and a glimpse of the green grass outside, which is growing into the house a little bit. The use of the word ajar captures the specific state of the windows being partially open.
Aquaplanes.
At high tide in the afternoon I watched his guests diving from the tower of his raft or taking the sun on the hot sand of his beach while his two motorboats slit the waters of the Sound, drawing aquaplanes over cataracts of foam. Aquaplanes in The Great Gatsby refers to a water sport where a person is towed behind a motorboat while standing on a board or skis that are designed to skim over the surface of the water. In the context of the sentence, the guests of Gatsby are enjoying the sunny afternoon by diving from the tower of his raft or relaxing on the beach, while two motorboats are towing aquaplanes over the water, creating cataracts of foam. The use of aquaplanes suggests that Gatsby's guests are engaging in a luxurious and leisurely activity, enjoying the summer weather and the amenities of Gatsby's estate.
Asunder.
Even Jordan's party, the quartet from East Egg, were rent asunder by dissension. The word, asunder, means apart or into pieces. In the sentence from The Great Gatsby, it is used to describe the way that Jordan's party was split up by dissension. Dissension is a disagreement or dispute, and it can cause people to become divided. In this case, the dissension among the partygoers caused them to break up into different groups.
Awning.
The room, shadowed well with awnings, was dark and cool. An awning is a fabric or metal canopy that extends over a window or doorway to provide shade from the sun or rain. In this sentence, the awnings are keeping the room dark and cool by blocking out the sun.
Banjo.
There was dancing now on the canvas in the garden, old men pushing young girls backward in eternal graceless circles, superior couples holding each other tortuously, fashionably and keeping in the corners, and a great number of single girls dancing individualistically or relieving the orchestra for a moment of the burden of the banjo or the traps. In the context of The Great Gatsby, banjo refers to a musical instrument. The sentence is describing a party scene, and the narrator is mentioning the various types of music being played. The banjo is a stringed instrument that is typically played with a pick. It is often associated with folk and country music. In this sentence, the banjo is being played by the orchestra, along with the traps, drums. The narrator is suggesting that the banjo is not a particularly sophisticated instrument, and that it is being used to provide a simple and lively rhythm for the dancers.
Banjos.
The moon had risen higher, and floating in the sound was a triangle of silver scales, trembling a little to the stiff, tinny drip of the banjos on the lawn. The word, banjos, is the plural form of banjo, a stringed musical instrument with a round body and a long neck. In the context of The Great Gatsby, banjos refers to the sound of multiple banjos being played on the lawn, creating a light and lively atmosphere.